Today, I have a very exciting special guest with me because she is a lady who I actually got to do a documentary on. She had been deaf, it was documented, and she gained her hearing, how she had been homeless, how all of these things she had been through, and a rough childhood upbringing. It was just an amazing, amazing story. Well, add to that story that this amazing individual, Brenda Englishman, had COVID not too long ago. Not only has she had the backstory of what I just told you about the documentary, but also this new miracle. So Brenda's journey really is a series of miracles, not just one. So thank you so much, Brenda. I would love, there's so much to share, but I would love if you would tell us about your journey through COVID and God's healing with that.
Well, after Thanksgiving last year, I started feeling weird. I was getting dizzy spells and I felt like I was going to faint. My oxygen levels under 80. And it was scary because I was coughing a lot. I had also pneumonia on top of it and I didn't even know it. And I was losing a lot of weight. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink, nothing. Also, I was doing was sleeping. And Bill thought that was very strange. So his another person from his job, one of his friends, Ed Bates, who's a Christian also, told him, send her to the emergency room right now. Because he was undecided on whether he should take me. And I didn't really want to go. I was scared. But he did, thank God, because the doctor said I would have passed away.
And what happened when that journey? How long were you in the hospital for? And how long was your recovery?
She went in the hospital. We got her in there in the middle of December, and then she was in the ICU. Like the first week, they put her on oxygen, like an oxygen tube in her nose, and then after a while, that wasn't good enough, because her levels kept dropping, and then she had to go on oxygen BiPAP machine, or actually the high flow tube, and that wasn't doing the trick either. And then she had to go on the BiPAP machine, and that wasn't doing the trick either. So New Year's Eve, she got put on a ventilator, and she was on the ventilator for 2 weeks. It's because she got pneumonia, during that time.
On top of the COVID.
So the pneumonia kind of was keeping her oxygen levels from coming back up, even though they kind of cured the pneumonia, the COVID, but then her oxygen levels still weren't coming up because she had pneumonia, and during that time, it was hard for me too, because, I wasn't allowed to visit her the whole entire month of December and January. And, all we could do is like FaceTime with the phone.
Thank God.
And then when she was on the ventilator, they had her unconscious, so I couldn't even talk to her, and I didn't know if she was going to live or die. Since she was laying in bed for a month and a half, she lost like 50 pounds, and she had to go to a rehab for another month.
And I couldn't walk, talk, or eat.
Yeah, learn how to do all that stuff over again.
Look at them. Aren't they a wonderful couple? And it's
thank you guys.
I love Brenda's story about how she met you, Bill, and how you're right. I think of that all the time, of your role in this, of you having to stay strong and having to have faith. I just talked, one of our other miracle stories was Joel, who had his brain aneurysm, and his wife, having to be there by his side. And so we're so grateful for the spouses and the people and the loved ones that are surrounding. She had to learn to eat and walk and talk. It's like, okay, yeah, but the reality of all that, the storyline of that is just, it's so amazing. And so what did God teach both of you? Like, what did God teach you the most through this, Brenda and Bill?
Well, I'll go first. When I was all alone in the hospital by myself, God appeared to me and he hugged me and said he was going to heal me. And he called me his joy girl for the earth. And he also said to me, Brenda, I know you. And I said, Lord, I know you too. And we both started laughing. And I couldn't hug him because he says, you can't cross over yet. It's not your time. I got more work for you to do down there. I really wanted to stay, but he's like, no, you have to go back because your husband wants you and your friends.
Wow. Wow, Brenda, that is just like,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cry, but
no.
it was
And you know
so
what?
real.
That's amazing, because just think about now the impact of your story and how you're here for, we all know we're here for a reason. And you're reminding us that our days are given of the Lord and we're
Mhm.
here for a reason. And so if we're still on this earth, we still have things to do that God has put inside us. I don't know how you would condense this, but is there any way to share just a little bit what you've gone through about being homeless and then being deaf, or anything you want to highlight in that journey before all this?
Well, when I was deaf, people used to make fun of me and call me all kinds of weird names, and I would still try to love people anyway. And God told me to always pray for them. And when God healed my ears, He just opened up a whole new world for me. And I prayed for all my enemies. And I even met that one guy in church, and we made up. And God's done like wonders. And my family, we got reunited after COVID
It's awesome.
because they were so happy that I was alive. I
Yeah.
mean, like, don't be bitter or angry. Like, my dad killed himself when I was like young. So my whole family was all split up, and God just brought us all back together recently. And that's a big thing too. And I kept praying and praying for years. I didn't even, and when I hugged my cousin, we cried and wept. Amazing, amazing. I could go on and on.
Oh, wow. And God used that. God used such an amazing thing for his glory. And I remember you telling me about you had been homeless at some point in your life.
Yeah,
Is that right?
because when my dad killed himself, I ran away from home because I was so angry and I didn't want anything to do with God or go to church or nothing. I said, I hate you. I don't want anything to do with you. And then he changed my heart. And my doctor, that COVID, I showed you the picture of him, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
he said I'm his miracle girl.
It looks like he should be on a soap opera.
I asked Brenda what God taught her through this. What did God teach you through this?
Well, he kind of showed me, what's important. I realized that I could, possibly lose her, kind of put things into perspective.
What is a word that you would use to describe your journey, your miracle? Like what word or phrase, if you can't think of one word?
Just complete dependence on God,
Yeah.
because, there was absolutely nothing I could do. Had to keep, I had to keep going to work while she was in the hospital. And my company had me working up in Albany. So I was up there for the whole week. And then I come home on weekends, but there was nothing, it's not like Brenda was in the house or anything. There's nothing to do. So, I figured just keep working up in Albany and keep doing that. And, I really couldn't, I was completely helpless.
What better testimony, miracle, to show that God is real and is still in the business of doing miracles than to have Brenda's story, where you just can't argue with it. It keeps getting better and better. All these miracles that God has done for you guys. And so thank you both for taking the time, and thanks for being a living miracle. And I know you encourage me, you encourage so many people, and so many more to come. So thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Bill. And I really appreciate you. Love you guys. And
We
just
love you too. And we hope to go on a double date one day.
that sounds good. That sounds good. Thanks so much, guys.
Love
Thank
you.
you. Love you too.
Okay.